What's going on, guys? XQ420 here. I am back. I'm in the building. I've got the freshest single for you guys. If it's the first time to the channel, stop hesitating. Hit that subscribe button for me. Today's video: coronavirus test. It's positive. Maybe it shouldn't be that, according to this. Let's jump into it. Right, article right here. This is straight up from the New York Times. They going big time on them. Look, if the New York Times is saying it, because you know they all pro-coro. That's all they were, pro-corona bro. That's what they were. The words my man Clay Travis. But they say right up here your coronavirus test is positive. Maybe it shouldn't be. Said the usual diagnostic test may simply be too sensitive and too slow to contain the spread of the virus. Well, we all knew that. But, I mean, when a respiratory virus get out, that's usually it. So some of the nation's leading public health experts are raising new concern. They said that the standard tests are diagnosing huge numbers of people who may be carrying relatively insignificant amounts of the virus. I wonder why that is. Well, let's just check right here. So it says most of these people are not likely to be contagious, and identifying them may contribute to bottlenecks to prevent those who are contagious from being found in time. But researchers say the solution is not to test less or skip testing people without symptoms. So that ain't the solution. We still got to test for some reason. Said instead, new data underscore the need for more widespread use of rapid tests, even if they are less sensitive. So they're saying that right now that the tests they're using are just a little bit too sensitive because they just going deep and dive. Because all it's looking is for an RNA sequence. That's all it's doing. It's just looking for a sequence. So they said the decision not to test asymptomatic people is just really backwards. Why is it? Come on, man. Why is it backwards? Man, am I sick if I'm asymptomatic? Let me know. I mean, I don't know. Y'all telling me that if I got this thing, then I ought to be able to know it. You know what I'm saying? Something ought to feel different. Of course, this is from Michael Mena, an epidemiologist of Harvard. Harvard, referring to the CDC recommendation, said, in fact, we should be ramping up testing of all different people. Good God. But we have to do it through whole different mechanisms. And Trump, he actually did a bill for right here recently for the rapid testing last Thursday, 150 million rapid tests. I think they ended up spending 750 million on it. Man, we are just blowing through money like but like it grows on trees, man, like it's in the ocean. Man, just go dig me up some more money out of the ocean so I can spend it. Another 750 million for some rapid tests. It's like, dang, bud. So of course the most widely used diagnostic test is the PCR test, which provides a simple yes/no. Okay, so we all know that. That's what they've been using, the PCR test. Even though, here's what I'm going to say about the PCR test, and this is a notation right here. It's important to note that detecting viral material by PCR does not indicate that the virus is fully intact and infectious, i.e. able to cause infection in other people. The isolation of infectious virus from positive individuals requires virus culture methods. These methods can only be conducted in laboratories with specialists, contaminant facilities, and are time-consuming and complex. So we ain't doing nothing that's overly complex here. We just ramping it up to 40. That's what they're ramping it up to right now. So we'll jump down here and see what else they got to say. So they say right here, the PCR test amplifies genetic matter from the virus in cycles. The fewer cycles required, the greater the amount of virus or viral load in the sample. The greater the viral load, the more likely the patient is to be contagious. So what I'm picking up right here is that, man, they just ramping it up. Well, just stamp 40 on everybody. We'll find something. And you need to quarantine all the cases up, even though you don't feel nothing, you feel all right. So it says this number of amplification cycles needed to find the virus, called the cycle threshold, is never included in the results sent to doctors and coronavirus patients, although it could tell them how infectious the patients are. So they won't actually out there telling people how many cycles they ramped it up. You see, I'm starting to pick up what they're putting down here. So say we put it on 20, didn't find nothing. Let me put it on 30, didn't find nothing. Let me put it on 35. Let me put it on 40. Yep, there it is. Hold on a second. Y'all just ramping it up till you find a little something. Let me know. I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm being scammed. You know what I'm saying? Scamdemic. I mean, I don't want to feel that. So they got over here in 3 sets of testing data that included cycle thresholds compiled by officials in Massachusetts, New York, and Nevada. Up to 90% of people testing positive carried barely any virus. 90% barely carried anything. Huh. So they amplified it that much and found it. Found a genetic code, genetic makeup, and they said, yep, they got it. They got it. I know it. Huh. Why would they do something like that? Why wouldn't you just be honest? Like, yeah, no, they're good. They ain't got any virus load. They ain't got anything significant, anything they can actually infect anybody with. So on Thursday, the United States recorded 45,604 new coronavirus cases. Okay, if the rates for contagious in Massachusetts and New York were to apply nationwide, then perhaps only 4,500 of those people may actually need to isolate and submit to contact tracing. I ain't about no contact tracing. Leave me be, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't contacting nothing, okay? We act like we meeting aliens or something out here. We made contact. No, bruh. Back up. I ain't looking for you to contact me on nothing, alright? If I feel bad, I'll just stay at the house, okay? Until I feel better. Then I'm leaving, alright? Don't come talk to me. So it said one solution would be to adjust the cycle threshold used now to decide that a patient is infected. Most tests set the limit at 40, a few at 37. This means that you are positive for the coronavirus if the test process requires up to 40 cycles or 37 to detect the virus. So obviously, from what they're telling me, is that that's a lot. Because right down here it says any test with a cycle threshold above 35 is too sensitive. So we've been using stuff that's too sensitive. That's just straight out, straight up. And Juliet Morrison says, I'm shocked that people would think that 40 could represent a positive. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Man, when this stuff started coming around, when I first heard about it, and they said it was a fever and a cough, and I was like, what? Fever and a cough? Man, I get that every year. That ain't nothing new. And then China started putting out some stuff where folks were dropping dead in the street, and then folks got kind of fidgety about it. But when I look back at that footage, I was looking at something else up there, and they were showing how they made the SARS vaccine. Were trying to make the SARS vaccine back in the day, and then when they were putting those in the animals, they would all of a sudden have cardiac arrest. So they kind of China already has the first patent on the coronavirus vaccine somehow, even though it's not out. And so I'm trying to figure out if they were actually putting that into people and then that was causing them to drop dead. That's just a question. It's a question, YouTube. Not saying that's what happened. Question, YouTube. I'm just questioning. That's it. So they say right here a more reasonable cutoff would be 30 to 35, and said she would set the figure to 30 or even less. So those changes would mean the amount of genetic material in a patient sample would have to be 100-fold to 1,000-fold that of the current standard for the test to return a positive result, at least one worth acting on. So what she's saying is that what we've been doing this whole time, we've just been going way overboard just to make sure we find just a little speck of something, a little speck of RNA in whoever we can find it in, just a little genetic code of RNA. That's why I was saying, look, man, you telling me all these folks are asymptomatic, man, they ain't no way that all these asymptomatic folks are going around just breathing in the air and that's spreading it. I don't believe you know what I'm saying? This ain't the smallpox. Both smallpox, Bo, you open a window and breathe out of it, you kill 5 folk down the street, man. That stuff is ruthless, man. You know what I'm saying? But that was one that needed the vaccine, bud. That thing is just pure cheap. Take all your clothes off, socks, shoes, everything, bud. Wash you, bathe you. So it says right here, the FDA said that it doesn't actually specify the cycle threshold ranges used to determine who's positive. Commercial manufacturers and laboratories set their own. Hold on a second now. Y'all supposed to be looking out for us. They said the CDC said it's examining the use of cycle threshold measures for policy decisions. The agent said it would need to collaborate with the FDA. Don't collaborate with them. Man, they just said they ain't paying attention. Man, let me collaborate with the FDA. For what? They ain't paying attention. Folks been asleep at the wheel. Done ran all up in a tree. KO blow. You know what I'm saying? This is the FDA with device measures to ensure the measures can be used properly and with assurance that we know what they mean. Now hold on a second. Bo, we 6 months in and y'all still don't know what you're doing. Man, that's why I've been telling y'all, man, they flat out lying, man. Somebody is lying. Now, from CDC's own calculations, it's extremely difficult to detect any live virus in a sample above a threshold of 33 cycles. Huh? Why ain't nobody know this before? You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody been asked to notate the threshold values. Nobody's been asked. Why not? Man, don't you think these folks are getting kickbacks and stuff for this? Oh yeah, man, we found more COVID-19 patients. You know what I'm saying? All this money flying around, all out the wazoo. And it says right here, for example, North Carolina State Lab uses Thermo Fisher coronavirus test, which automatically classifies results based on a cutoff of 37 cycles. The spokeswoman for the lab said testers did not have access to the precise number. Man, the more and more I look at this, boy, the more and more I realize that y'all are BSing me, okay? That's just all there is to it. Let's get serious about it. Man, oh man, we ain't got proper numbers. Well, how many cycles you run? Well, 37, 40, 50. Well, we ran a lot, you know what I'm saying? Man, we're just trying to find it. Man, we just kept running it until we just ran out of space. That's what we did. We just kept running the stuff. So if we look at some numbers down here, said officials at the Wadsworth Center New York State Lab have access to CT values from tests they have processed and analyzed. And in July, the lab identified 794 positive tests based on threshold of 40 cycles. So with a cutoff of 35, about half of those tests would no longer qualify as positive. If we had 35, about 70% would no longer be judged positive if the cycles were limited to 30. All right, so we seen that right there, man. That cuts it way back. Folks that probably not even infectious, folks that ain't even sick, ain't got nothing. That's why they're asymptomatic, because ain't nothing happening. So they said in Massachusetts, from 85 to 90% of people who tested positive in July with a cycle threshold of 40 would have been deemed negative if the threshold were 30 cycles. 85 to 90%. Good God. And Dr. Mina says, I would say that none of those people should be contact traced, not one. And this is, when you look at this stuff, man, you like, man, so you mean to tell me that we destroyed a whole bunch of people's lives, a whole bunch of people in forbearance, can't pay the rent, having to go to the food bank to get a box of food and all this stuff, crushed the economy, and y'all still don't know what you're doing. Y'all just now figuring out that folks been fibbing this whole time. Been using too many cycles in the PCR test. Which the PCR test is just picking up an RNA sample. That's all it's doing. But, and this is what I've been trying to tell people the whole time, man. I was like, man, something ain't right. Something don't smell right about this COVID, man. It just don't. Man, I was swearing up and down when folks were freaking out. I thought I was going to have to keep bodies out of my way to get in my car every day. I swore up and down. I said, Bo, if they shutting down, man, I'm going to have to start dragging bodies up. Man, you just got to go down the road, just picking folk up, throwing them in the back of a wagon to drag them away. And you know what's happened? Relatively nothing. Relatively nothing. Now, we see all this. If y'all want to read the rest, I'll probably link it in the description below. Because there's a lot of reading up there. And they do end up saying, it's like, oh man, we still need to test. We just need more rapid testing and all that stuff. But I want to close out on this. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but the CDC came out with their recent numbers of how many people has died just because of COVID. Because they caught COVID and then they died of COVID, and that's it. I just want to show y'all this. So it says right here, 6% of the deaths, COVID-19 was the only cause mentioned. Now, I'm not even going to go off this number right here. I'm going to give them a little leeway. I'm going to go off your Johns Hopkins number, which is about 184,000. That means 10,980 people have actually died of COVID. Now, these other deaths, there were an average of 2.6 additional conditions, comorbidities. Let me tell you something about a comorbidity. That means that thing could kill you right now. Okay? An average of 2.6 additional conditions or causes per death. So you mean to tell me that we crushed a whole bunch of folks' lives? We went trillions and trillions of dollars into more debt. 10,980 people that I can confirm. And I'm giving them some numbers that I can flat out confirm that have died of COVID-19. All I can say is they got us, Bo. We got played. Man, we got flat out played. That's all there is to it. We got played. They're playing us with the mask. They're playing us with the COVID-19. They're playing us with the BLM. The world's getting played right now. And we just need to be done with it. That's all I got to say, man. We just need to be done with it. Because I'm done with it. And I'm done listening to folks talk about it. All the hypocrisy. You can't go and congregate with folks at a wedding, but you can go congregate with thousands of people at a BLM rally. Okay, got you. Well, you can go. You got to wear your mask in the restaurant to go sit down and eat, but then you can take it off once you sit at the table. But you can pick up a whole bunch of kids to take with you and go eat at the table. But then when they go to school, they got to wear the mask and can't be right beside each other. Okay, I got you. It's just stuff that don't make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? And stuff don't make sense at all. I'm just like, I don't get it. So you see this stuff right here, boy, you get a little enraged. I got a little enraged when I seen it. Because I knew it was something like this going on. I just knew it. I felt it. Felt it in my blood and my bones. Felt it. So y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section below. And we need to go back to normal. Everybody take your mask off, walk outside, take the air in and be like, I'm done with you, bruh. All right? And that's how we get it back. Folks keep asking me. I've heard a whole bunch of people out, man, I'll be glad when it's over. It'll be over when you stop being afraid. That's when it'll be over. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. As always, like, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell so you know when I post in the future. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.